Good day of Shabbos, parshas boy. Many years ago, I was in Yeshiva's Coren B'Yavne, and there were three Canadians that I was friendly with. One of these Canadians, it was clear that he was there for the year not to spend in the Beis Midrash. He was going to have a good time. But respectfully, whenever he would go to someone else for Shabbos, and he was with his family, etc., he would always come to me and say, I need a Dvar Torah. They're going to ask me, and I want to have one on condition it has to be the shortest Dvar Torah possible. It was a struggle to find the shortest Dvar Torahs. Parshas boy, I ran over to him. I said, you're not going to believe it. I have the shortest Dvar Torah ever. He goes, what? I say, bo, gematria, three Marcus and Parshas boy. That's the whole thing. He was dancing for the whole Shabbos. It's a cute Dvar Torah, but it's not just cute. This is quoted in the Balaturim. There's obviously a deeper message in these three Marcus, while they are singled out as a group and separated from the first seven. In fact, Rav Menashe Zilba says, and takes it to a whole different level, he says, there's 10 Marcus. 10 Marcus is connected, parallels the 10 spheres, the 10 emanations, that the system that the Rebbeinu manifests himself in this world. The first 7 are the lower ones, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchus. The upper 3 is Chochmah, Bina, and Das, which is connected the 3 in this week's Parsha of Arbe, Choshen, Makas, Becheres. What's the depth? Because the 10 Makas, the 10 spheres, also are paralleled by the 10 Klippas, the negative side. Everything has a positive and a negative. The 10 negative Klippas of Mitzrayim correspond to these 10, so therefore the last 3 are the darkest levels. That's connected the 3 highest levels of spheres. Says Menashe, if you notice, the gematria of Parshas Ve'er, not the gematria, the amount of psukim in Parshas Ve'er is 121. In Parshas Boy, it's 105. Now, the Rebbeinu told Yaakov Avinu, don't worry when you go down to Mitzrayim, I'm going to bring you up. He said twice, A'alcho gam aloi. Why does it say A'alcho gam aloi? I'll bring you up because A'alcho is gematria, 121. That's Parshas Ve'er. I'm going to schlep you out of those 7 klippas, the 7 levels of darkness. Aloi is gematria 105, that corresponds to Parshas Boy. So deep, but it goes even deeper. What's the message I think that we could take for ourselves about this group of 3 Makos? These 3 Makos had a common denominator. They were all about darkness. Arbe, it says, v'chisus and eretz. It covered the whole, couldn't see. There was a darkness in the world. Choshech was the ultimate darkness. Like the Ramban says in many Rishonim that there was a reality of darkness. You felt the darkness. Someone told me that actually they found, perhaps recently, written as in one of the what's called the hieroglyphics and different things from the Egyptians, that they wrote an accounting of the plague of darkness. And it describes how we were not able to put on light. It was physically impossible. The description's fascinating. Check it out. But for us, the message for us on a deeper level, on a Hasidic level, and what we could give our kids, is the idea that these 3 Makkos had all an aspect of darkness. Makkos B'chos, of course, was Balayla. Ba'i B'chatzia Layla. What is it telling us? It's telling us the following. The Baal Shem Tov asks, why does it say L'man Tesapel Bo'izne Bincha or Ven Bincha? Your son and your grandson. Why are we speaking to the grandson? Where's the grandson? So the Kli Yakal says a precious pshat. Can't forget the Kli Yakal. Kli Yakal says, from Rabbeinu Hananel, there's only one Makkah that you could still relate to your grandchildren and your great-great-grandchildren. Makas Arbe. Locust. Why? Because God said, I will never bring back the locust to Mitzrayim. You take a grasshopper, the cutest grasshopper you find in El Tisol that's munching away. You take it and you put it in a little box and you travel over to Mitzrayim. It will not eat. Refuse to eat. This is a tradition that Rabbeinu Hanan already says. Why? Because God said so. Says Kli Yakal, you're going to tell your children and your grandchildren, because there's one thing that you could still relate to your children today, the Roishim, the impression is still left, is the Makas Av. Beautiful Kli Yakal. But the Baal Shem Tov says something else. He says, when you speak to your son, you have to know you're not just speaking to your son. You're speaking to your grandson and your great-grandson and your great-great-great-grandson. So I wanted to add to the Baal Shem Tov, these 3 Makas. This Friday night, when you're making a bracha, whether it's your son or your daughter, or you're relating to anyone in your family, turn to them. And when you're looking at your son and your daughter, don't just see them. See the grandchildren and the great-great-great-grandchildren. It says about Shem, when you do that, your transmission and what you're giving of them is so much more powerful. You turn to your child and you say the 3 makas boy is about darkness. It's about not seeing God all the time in our lives, but you should know Hashem loves you. And when you say that, you're going to have in mind for your grandson and your great-grandson. You'll see how different and how much more passion there will be in your bracha. Have a good Shabbos.